Welcome to Today is a Gift. A space to slow down, breathe deep, and remember that this moment is already enough. Sometimes, you wake up and just want to disappear from it all. Not because you're weak or dramatic, but because holding everything together has started to feel impossibly quiet. The meetings, the emails, the pressure that never lets up, it all blurs into a fog. You're tired of pretending you're fine, tired of showing up with a smile when inside, you feel numb. You walk into your day like a ghost. Your coffee doesn't wake you up, it just buys you a few more minutes of pretending. You look in the mirror, and instead of seeing potential, you see a question. Is this all there is? You feel lost, disconnected from what once mattered. And maybe, just maybe, you've started to believe that something in you is broken. But listen closely. This isn't a sign that you're lost forever. This is a moment. A pause. A soft breath before something inside you shifts. Because here's the quiet truth that no one talks about enough. You don't have to love your job right away. You don't have to jump out of bed excited about tasks and to-do lists. That version of purpose, the one that looks like fireworks and motivational speeches, it's not always real. Sometimes, purpose is quieter. It's the whisper that says, show up anyway. It's the act of simply not giving up, even when it feels like you're walking through mud. You don't owe the world your excitement. You owe yourself your presence. And presence is powerful. Even when you're not passionate. Even when you're just getting through. Because getting through with integrity, with softness, with self-compassion, that's a kind of strength we don't talk about enough. You only need to love yourself enough to keep going. Not for your boss. Not for society. But for your future self, the one who will breathe easier because you didn't quit today. That version of you already exists. They're waiting. But they need you to keep walking. And that walk doesn't have to be fast or graceful. It just has to continue. Some days, survival is enough. Some days, making your bed, answering one email, or choosing to take a break, that's enough. And that doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. You may not love your job, but can you love the version of you that still shows up? The one who keeps trying, even when motivation is nowhere to be found? Can you love the tiny acts of hope, putting on music you like, leaving yourself a note, offering someone else a smile even when your heart feels heavy? These things matter. They are not small. They are signs of life. Signs that something in you still believes in the possibility of becoming. Even now. Even here. Even through this. You don't have to fake joy. You don't have to lie to yourself. But maybe, gently, you can plant small seeds of hope. Hope for a future you. Hope for a life that feels more like yours. Hope for the day when all of this exhaustion begins to make sense. Let that be your work today, not the spreadsheet, not the inbox, but the quiet, internal work of not giving up on yourself. That too is worthy. That too is real. And if no one has told you yet, I'm proud of you. For waking up. For trying. For still being here. Passion doesn't always come first. Sometimes it's not even in sight. We keep waiting for the spark, some lightning strike of clarity or joy that tells us, yes, this is it. But the truth is, passion often shows up after you do. It grows slowly, in the quiet hours of effort, in the ordinary days where nothing feels extraordinary. And that's where purpose begins, not with excitement, but with presence. Purpose grows from presence. It comes from showing up. Not when you're overflowing with energy, Not when everything makes sense, but when you could have chosen to run, to quit, to disappear, and you didn't. It's in those exact moments that the foundation of something greater begins to form. Not because you had all the answers, but because you cared enough to keep trying. Because deep down, you knew there was something in you worth fighting for. From showing up, even when your heart's not in it yet. Even when your spirit is tired and your body feels heavy. Even when you question if anything you're doing matters. That showing up, it's not about performance. It's not about pretending. It's about honoring the quiet part of you that still believes in possibility, even if it feels far away. It's about creating room for change, even if it hasn't arrived yet. And from caring for your future self. The you who's still becoming. The version of you that doesn't need validation to feel worthy, that doesn't bend under pressure, that has reclaimed softness as strength. That person doesn't just appear one day out of nowhere. They are built slowly, from the choices you make in the hard seasons. From every time you say, I don't want to, but I'll try. From every breath you take instead of giving up. That future version of you, the one with more peace, more direction, more joy, they don't just want you to keep going. They will thank you. Truly. One day you'll sit alone in your kitchen, or on a walk in the evening light, and you'll realize, that was the season I almost gave up. But I didn't. And that changed everything. So no, you don't need to fake enthusiasm. You don't need to wake up thrilled about meetings and deadlines. But you can be loyal to yourself. You can be gentle with your progress. You can respect the fact that you're showing up in a world that constantly demands more, and you're doing it with a quiet kind of courage that no one claps for, but that changes lives, starting with your own. You see, healing doesn't always look like leaving everything behind. Sometimes, healing is staying. Staying with yourself. Staying with your values. Staying in the room long enough to transform what once drained you into something that teaches you. Not every job will be your dream job. But every experience can reveal something about what you value, what you tolerate, what ignites you, and what you can no longer accept. And maybe that's what this season is for. Not to find passion overnight, but to reconnect with yourself inch by inch. To relearn what stability feels like. To remember how capable you are. To hold space for your tiredness and still say, I'm proud of you for trying. Don't underestimate the power of small faith. The way you pack your bag anyway. The way you write the email even when your hands shake. The way you hold back tears in public and cry when you're finally safe in your room. These are not signs of weakness. They're proof that you're still in it. That you haven't abandoned yourself. That something in you still believes there's more to come. So, walk slowly. Let go of the pressure to be inspired all the time. Let go of the guilt that says you should be further along. You are not behind. You are not failing. You're becoming. Even in these mundane moments. Even when the days blur together. Even now. Purpose isn't something we find like a hidden treasure. It's something we uncover by being present, by staying, by listening. To ourselves. To our fatigue. To our resilience. And to the subtle voice that says, keep going. Not because you have to, but because your life matters. Maybe no one will see how hard you're trying. Maybe you'll never get the recognition you deserve. But you will feel it. In your bones. In your breath. In the way you begin to trust yourself again. Let this be the day you don't give up. Not because it's easier, but because your future self is waiting. And they are worth it. So are you. You're not lazy. You're tired. Tired of pretending. Tired of performing. Tired of waking up to the same rhythm that doesn't match your heartbeat. And that kind of tiredness, it's not solved by caffeine or a weekend off. It's a deeper kind of fatigue, the kind that comes from disconnection. From waking up every day and feeling like you're living someone else's life. You're tired of living in a loop that doesn't feel like you. A cycle of obligations, expectations, and unfinished to-do lists. Where you're constantly chasing approval but rarely giving yourself permission to just exist. You wonder where your spark went. You wonder why the things you used to enjoy now feel so far away. And in the silence between responsibilities, there's a soft ache that says, "This isn't who I thought I'd be." But listen. That ache is not failure. That ache is an invitation. It's your inner compass pointing toward something more honest, more aligned, more you. So start small. Don't try to fix everything at once. Don't try to redesign your whole life overnight. Healing doesn't come from urgency, it comes from consistency. Begin by being kind to yourself when you feel numb. Begin by noticing what drains you and what quietly restores you. Then choose one small thing each day that feels closer to who you are. Work for the person you want to become. Not for the title, not for applause, but for that future version of you who wakes up feeling light in their chest. The one who no longer needs to mask their truth just to be accepted. The one who feels at home in their own body, in their own voice, in their own path. That version of you is real. But they don't come from running faster. They arrive when you begin walking slower and more consciously. Let today be a love letter, not a checklist, not a race, but a gentle offering to the part of you that's still healing, to the part of you that's relearning how to feel safe in stillness, to the part of you that carries wounds no one else sees, but still gets up, still tries, still believes somehow that it's not too late. Let today be a note that says, "I see you. I forgive you. I'm proud of you." Even if all you do today is breathe, even if the only thing you accomplish is holding on, that is not nothing. That is sacred. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're simply in a chapter where your inner self is asking to be heard. And maybe this chapter looks like pausing. Maybe it looks like saying no. Maybe it looks like resting without guilt, or doing your job without overperforming. That doesn't mean you've lost your edge. It means you've finally stopped bleeding for approval. You are allowed to slow down. You are allowed to reevaluate. You are allowed to choose a new kind of success, one that includes your peace. So if you feel like you're barely holding it together, remember this. There is no shame in rebuilding. There is no shame in changing direction. The world may applaud hustle, but your soul craves harmony. You don't have to prove your worth through burnout. You don't have to earn rest through exhaustion. You are worthy of care now. You are allowed to work from a place of self-respect, not self-sacrifice. And tomorrow, you'll try again. Maybe with more clarity. Maybe with the same questions. But still here. Still growing. Still becoming. You don't have to love your job to show up with love. You don't have to feel ready to begin again. You only need a tiny space of willingness. And today, that's enough. You are not just doing a job. You are building a life day by day, choice by choice, breath by breath. It may not always feel like you're creating something meaningful. The tasks might be small. The effort might go unseen. But underneath the routines and responsibilities, you're weaving together the threads of who you are becoming. What you're doing is more than just work. It's the way you carry yourself when no one is watching. The way you respond with kindness when you feel empty. The way you stay calm in a meeting even when your mind is spiraling. These moments might never make it to a resume, but they shape your soul. And even if no one notices your efforts, the universe always does. The universe moves in resonance with your energy, not with your title, not with your salary, but with the sincerity behind your actions. Every time you act from a place of truth, from quiet commitment, you send a ripple into the world. You are participating in something bigger than a job. You are part of the unseen work of healing, of transformation, starting from within. So when you feel invisible, when your inbox is full but your heart feels empty, when you give more than you receive and wonder if it even matters, remember, every honest effort creates impact, whether it's witnessed or not. You don't need a stage to matter. You don't need applause to be valuable. You don't even need external change to validate your internal growth. Because the real shift, it's happening right now. In the way you choose to stay present. In the way you refuse to let bitterness harden you. In the way you choose hope softly, daily, deliberately. Every gentle act matters. The way you listen. The way you care. The way you show up, again and again, with a quiet dignity that says, I may not love this moment, but I still choose to meet it with grace. That is the kind of work that changes the world, not loudly, not suddenly, but deeply. You are not just doing a job. You are building a life that holds space for both effort and meaning. And one day, you'll look back and see. Every step you took in stillness was leading you home. Don't rush to find your passion. I know the world tells you otherwise. That if you haven't found your why yet, something's wrong with you. That if you're not excited to jump out of bed every morning, you're wasting your life. But that's not true. Passion is not a race. And you are not behind. Some of the most beautiful things in life take time to unfold. Like sunrise. Like trust. Like healing. And sometimes, like purpose. When you chase passion out of panic, you miss the quiet magic that's already happening. You overlook the softness of becoming. You ignore the value of this very moment, the space in between. So instead of running, pause. Calmly return to your breath. Place your hand on your chest. Close your eyes, if only for a moment. Let everything fall away, the noise, the pressure, the voices telling you you're not enough. There is something sacred about coming home to yourself. To the rhythm of your breath. To the gentle rise and fall of your body. To the realization that you don't need to have it all figured out, not today. Let your calm become your power. Let it be the ground you stand on when everything else feels uncertain. Let it guide your decisions, not from fear, but from alignment. In a world that glorifies urgency, your stillness is revolutionary. It's not lazy. It's not weak. It's a quiet declaration. I will not lose myself trying to meet standards that don't honor me. Let your work become a ritual of self-respect. Not something that drains you, but something that reflects who you are, or at least, who you're becoming. You may not love every task. You may not feel lit up every day. But you can still choose to do it with presence. With grace. With care. That's how mundane work becomes meaningful, not by changing what you do, but by changing the energy you bring to it. Folding clothes. Sending emails. Writing reports. These aren't small, mindless things. They are acts of devotion when done with intention. They are prayers of grounding when done with breath. You are allowed to feel lost. You are allowed to wonder if you're doing it right. You are allowed to sit in the in-between, that space where clarity hasn't arrived, but the old life no longer fits. That space. It's not emptiness. It's the womb of your becoming. It's where the new you is quietly growing, beneath the surface. And just because it's invisible, doesn't mean it's not real. So be gentle with yourself. You don't need to know your final destination today. You don't need a 5-year plan or a perfect answer. You only need to take the next honest step. One that feels less like proving, and more like honoring. One that feels a little more like you. Just don't forget, the path is still unfolding beneath your feet. Even when you can't see it. Even when you feel stuck. Even when nothing seems to be moving, the ground beneath you is alive. It's shifting, quietly, to carry you forward. You are not lost. You are just between chapters. And this in-between, this quiet, uncertain, messy middle, is where some of the most important work happens. This is where you meet yourself again. This is where you stop performing and start listening. This is where you plant seeds that one day will bloom into something beyond your imagination. So please, don't rush. You are not late. You are not broken. You are right on time. Breathe. Trust. Keep going. The path is still unfolding. And you are still becoming beautifully, slowly, in your own perfect rhythm. So breathe. Smile. Begin again. Don't do it perfectly, do it kindly. Today, show up for the person you're becoming. Do your work, not because you love it, but because you love the life you're building. And one day, you'll look back and whisper, "Thank you, me, for not giving up."
No matter what today brings, walk gently, live slowly, and hold on to this truth. You are the gift, and today is yours to receive. If this message reached you at the right moment, stay a little longer. Subscribe for more quiet reminders that you are growing, you are enough, and every day is a gift.